Hello, I just saw Zkueker88 just try to debate a Roman Catholic regarding justification by faith alone. I unfortunately realized that Zkueker88 needed a lot of help debating Theologica37. Theologica gave a lot of arguments that Zach could not refute. The first one seemed to be 1 Corinthians 9:27. It says, "But I discipline my body, and make it my slave, so that, after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified." Theologica claims that Paul was saying that he could lose his salvation, and be a castaway or disqualified. Theologica then claims that the Greek word for castaway, or disqualified is the same word for reprobate. The problem with Theologica's argument is that Paul was not talking about salvation, he was talking about preaching. 1 Corinthians 9:14-18 reveals that Paul is talking about preaching so he can receive a reward in heaven. Understand that the word reprobate or castaway simply just means disqualified. Paul was just saying that if he doesn't preach the gospel, he will be disqualified from receiving a reward for preaching the gospel. Paul is not saying that he will be disqualified from salvation if he doesn't preach the gospel. Another verse Theologica used to try to disprove eternal security is Hebrews 10:26. The verse says, "For if we sin willfully, after we have received the knowledge of the truth, there no longer remains a sacrifice for sins." Theologica then says that this verse proves that if Christians sin willfully, they will lose their salvation, because this isn't a sacrifice for their sins. But this argument is invalid because Hebrews 10:26 is talking about the knowledge of the truth, not true saving faith in Jesus Christ. In John 3 verses 1-3, Jesus was talking to a man named Nicodemus. Nicodemus and all the other Pharisees knew that Jesus was from God because of his miracles. But after Nicodemus confessed that he believes Christ is from God, Jesus replies to him saying that he must be born again, or he won't enter the kingdom of heaven. The point is that just simple knowledge that Christ is from God does not make you saved, because you still need to be born again. People who were sinning willfully were never saved, because they were never born again. Also, Theologica said that the people who sin willfully were once saved, because there used to be a sacrifice for them. But the real reason why the author of Hebrews says this is because he is talking to a general group of people. Some are saved, and some are not. According to Matthew 7:21-23, that not everyone who claims to be a Christian is truly a Christian. Therefore, if a person sins willfully, then he is not truly a Christian, because 1 John 3:9 says that Christians don't make a habit of sin. And if they are not truly Christians, then Christ didn't die for them, because Christ died for the sheep, not the goats, according to John 10 verse 11 and 15. It is also good to mention that 1 John 2:19 says that anyone who leaves Christ permanently was never truly saved to begin with. To sum up my argument, Hebrews 10:26 is not saying you could lose your salvation. In fact, it proves the Calvinist position known as limited atonement, because it says there is no sacrifice for unbelievers.